So I decided to do a gear video, talk about what things worked, what things I would do differently. Most of it worked really well. The thing to remember when I'm doing this video is that I am a teacher, so my gear list is going to be based on things I could afford. The other thing to take into account is that I'm a vegan, so I didn't do things like down, which definitely adds a little bit of weight, especially with the sleeping bag, not being able to do down. The big thing now is down quilts, which definitely is a lot lighter than my sleeping bag, but I mean, we're talking ounces, so when all that adds up, I mean, it definitely makes a difference, but make sure you take those two things into account. If you don't care about the down, which I think you should, but if you don't personally care about the down, you'll get a lighter bag, smaller bag, and if you don't care about down jackets, obviously the same thing. I went with a black diamond puffy, which was synthetic, so that worked well, but you can get lighter than that as well. Alright, so let's dive in. Like I said, I'm a teacher, so I like to do things that kind of work for more than one thing. So I originally bought this backpack knowing that I was thinking about doing the long trail, but also just to do run commutes to work, and it's worked really well for me. It's 25 liters, but I think it can be expanded a little bit farther than that. I think that's kind of underselling. So I use this. I've used this before the long trail on run commutes, and it's worked really well for that. It's got a nice huge stretchy jacket, a stretchy pocket in the front, which is nice. And on the backpack side, it has some two water bottle holders, which is, I was able to put 2 smart bottles in there. I used had one of these in each pocket, and that worked really well. Everyone seems to be using the Sawyer system. I use the Sawyer squeeze. That worked really well. The big thing is make sure you keep an eye on this ring. It falls out sometimes, and then if it falls out and you're in the woods, you're kind of the water comes out the side, so it won't filter very well. I replaced the top actually with a smart bottle top, so the flow flew a little better, which is nice. But I found that drinking from it when I was moving quickly was kind of tough, so I actually packed a Platypus because it could be folded down flat, and that kind of worked as a backup bottle anyway. So I had that, and then I would make sure the dirty water was always in this, and then I would actually filter it into the smart bottles. I also brought this instead of the plunger, so you could actually use the smart bottle to squeeze water through the filter to clean it. I found that to be a pretty good system. So that's what I use for water in the front of this pack. Again, big pocket in the back. Was able to shove things like my jacket and some food for the day, and just things I need to get at quick. I also have some nice side pockets, so I could put water bottles in there if I wanted to, or some food, or even my fuel canister at times I went in there. And it has a big roll top. So yeah, so I was happy. They do make this in a bigger size, the 30 I believe, which probably would have been, and also have 40 I believe, which has a waist pack. I guess that's my biggest. I wasn't sure which way to go with the waist pack, because I was hoping to do some more running. Didn't really run a whole lot. I think once you get above 18 pounds on the pack, it's really tough to do running, and I don't. So I didn't do a ton of running with it, but there were some times when I could move really quickly, relatively, get some closer to 10, 11 minute miles on some of the flatter spots, which is, this pack worked really well for that, especially after, the day before pulling to a place to resupply.